Hello, my dear friends. Before we begin, I want to remind you that this information is for educational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider about any dietary changes. Now, I need to ask you something that might surprise you. Have you noticed that your memory isn't quite as sharp as it used to be? Maybe you forget names more often, or you walk into a room and can't remember why you went there. If you're over 60 and experiencing these things, I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Your memory problems might not be about getting older, they might be about what you're eating. I'm Dr. Sarah Williams, and today I need to share something with you that shocked me when I first learned it. There are 5 common foods that may be literally shrinking your brain. And here's what makes this so difficult. Some of these foods were recommended by doctors as healthy choices. Today, I'm going to tell you exactly which 5 foods might be damaging your brain. And more importantly, I'm going to show you simple, delicious alternatives that can help protect your precious mind. Let me tell you about Frank. He was 70 years old when his wife brought him to see me, and I could see the worry in both their eyes. "Doctor," Frank's wife said, her voice shaking, "my husband is forgetting things, important things. He forgot our grandson's birthday last week. He asked me the same question 3 times in 1 hour. I'm scared. Is this dementia? Is this Alzheimer's?" Frank looked at me with such fear. "I feel like I'm losing my mind, doctor. I used to be so sharp. I was an engineer. I solved complex problems every day. Now I can't remember what I had for breakfast." My heart broke for Frank and his wife. But here's what I knew that they didn't know yet. Frank's memory problems might not be inevitable brain aging. They might be caused by what he was eating every single day. We ran some tests. We analyzed Frank's diet carefully, and what we discovered changed everything. Frank was eating 5 specific foods that research suggests may damage brain cells and accelerate cognitive decline. And here's the part that made Frank angry. 3 of these 5 foods had been recommended by his previous doctor as healthy choices. Within 5 months of eliminating these 5 foods and replacing them with brain protective alternatives, Frank's mental clarity had improved dramatically. His memory testing showed significant improvement. His wife cried tears of joy. "He's back," she told me. "My sharp, brilliant husband is back. He remembers things. He's engaged in conversations again. It's like someone turned the lights back on in his mind." Frank is 72 now. His memory continues to improve. He volunteers as a tutor, helping high school students with math and science. He's living proof that dietary changes can make a profound difference in brain health. If you stay with me today, I'm going to tell you exactly which 5 foods were damaging Frank's brain and exactly what he replaced them with. These same foods might be affecting your brain right now. Now, before I tell you about these 5 brain-damaging foods, I want you to understand something important. I'm not here to make you feel guilty. Frank didn't know these foods were harmful. You might not know either. That's okay. What matters is that today, right now, you're learning. And with that knowledge, you can make different choices starting today. Are you ready? Let me tell you about the first food that was shrinking Frank's brain. When I told Frank about this one, he was shocked because his doctor had specifically told him to use it. The first brain-damaging food is artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame. Frank was using these every single day, thinking he was making a healthy choice. Frank had switched from sugar to artificial sweeteners years ago. His doctor told him it would help with his blood sugar and his weight. So Frank put artificial sweetener in his coffee every morning. He drank diet sodas. He ate sugar-free desserts sweetened with these chemicals. But here's what Frank's doctor didn't know, and what most doctors don't know. Research suggests that artificial sweeteners, particularly aspartame, may be neurotoxic. That means they may damage brain cells. Let me explain this simply. Aspartame breaks down in your body into several chemicals, including methanol and formaldehyde. Yes, formaldehyde, the same chemical used to preserve dead bodies. These chemicals may cross into your brain and damage neurons, your brain cells. Over time, this damage may accumulate, affecting memory, cognition, and mental clarity. But there's more. Artificial sweeteners may also disrupt your gut bacteria, and we now know that your gut bacteria directly affect your brain health through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. When Frank learned this, he was angry. "Nobody told me this," he said. "I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being healthy." Research has shown that people who consume artificial sweeteners regularly may have increased risk of cognitive decline. Studies suggest these chemicals may contribute to brain fog, memory problems, and confusion. Frank was consuming artificial sweeteners multiple times every day for years. No wonder his memory was failing. But here's the beautiful part of Frank's story. When he eliminated artificial sweeteners completely and switched to natural alternatives, something remarkable happened. Frank started using small amounts of raw honey or pure maple syrup when he needed sweetness. He stopped drinking diet sodas and switched to sparkling water with fresh lemon. He ate fruit when he wanted something sweet. Within 3 weeks, Frank told me, my head feels clearer. It's hard to explain, but it's like a fog is lifting. The second brain-damaging food shocked Frank even more because he'd been told by his cardiologist that this food was good for his heart. The second brain-damaging food is processed meats, things like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, deli meats, and packaged lunch meats. Frank loved his morning bacon. He ate turkey sandwiches with deli meat for lunch almost every day. These were convenient, they tasted good, and his doctor had told him that turkey was a healthy protein choice. But here's what Frank didn't know. Processed meats contain preservatives called nitrates and nitrites. These chemicals may form compounds in your body that can damage your brain. Research suggests that these preservatives may contribute to neurodegeneration, the breakdown of brain cells. They may also increase inflammation in your brain, which accelerates cognitive decline. But there's another problem with processed meats. They're very high in sodium and unhealthy fats. High sodium intake may reduce blood flow to your brain. Your brain needs good blood flow to function properly. Frank was eating processed meats at least twice a day, sometimes more. All that sodium, all those preservatives, all that inflammation, his brain was under constant attack. Studies have shown that people who eat processed meats regularly may have faster rates of cognitive decline compared to people who avoid these foods. The research is clear and concerning. When I explained this to Frank, he said, "But what am I supposed to eat? I need protein. These are easy and convenient." And that's such a valid concern. So here's what we did. We found simple, brain-healthy alternatives that were just as convenient. Frank started eating fresh chicken breasts that he cooked once a week and sliced for sandwiches. He switched to eggs for breakfast instead of bacon. He ate fish, real turkey that he roasted himself, and plant-based proteins. It wasn't hard, Frank told me. I just had to think ahead a little bit. And you know what? The fresh food tastes better. My food doesn't have that weird chemical aftertaste anymore. Now, the third brain-damaging food is one that Frank ate every single morning, thinking he was giving himself energy for the day. The third brain-damaging food is refined carbohydrates, white bread, white pasta, white rice, pastries, donuts, and most breakfast cereals. Frank started every morning with white toast and jam. Sometimes he had a bagel. For lunch, he often ate a sandwich on white bread. For dinner, white rice or pasta. I'm getting plenty of energy, Frank thought. Carbs give you energy, right? But here's what was really happening. These refined carbohydrates spike your blood sugar dramatically. Your blood sugar shoots up, then crashes down. These rapid swings in blood sugar may damage blood vessels in your brain. Over time, these blood sugar spikes may contribute to insulin resistance in your brain. Some researchers actually call Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes because of the strong connection between blood sugar problems and brain degeneration. But there's more. Refined carbohydrates cause inflammation throughout your body, including in your brain. Chronic inflammation is one of the main drivers of cognitive decline. Think about it this way. Every time Frank ate white bread or white pasta, he was creating a small fire of inflammation in his brain. Doing this 3 times a day, every day, for years, the damage adds up. Research has shown that diets high in refined carbohydrates are associated with increased risk of dementia and faster cognitive decline. The studies are consistent and compelling. Frank couldn't believe it. So my morning toast was hurting my brain all those years? Yes. But here's the good news. Frank switched to whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, and oatmeal. These complex carbohydrates don't spike blood sugar. They provide steady energy without the inflammation. Within a month, Frank noticed something amazing. I don't have that mid-afternoon crash anymore, he said. My energy is more stable all day, and my thinking feels clearer. The 4th brain-damaging food was in Frank's kitchen cabinet, and he used it every single day for cooking. The 4th brain-damaging food is trans fats and partially hydrogenated oils. These are found in margarine, shortening, many fried foods, and lots of packaged baked goods. Frank cooked with margarine every day. He thought butter was bad for his cholesterol, so he'd switched to margarine years ago. He also ate crackers, cookies, and snack foods that contained these oils. But here's the truth about trans fats. They may be one of the most damaging things you can put in your body, and especially in your brain. Trans fats may damage the cell membranes in your brain. Your brain cells are surrounded by membranes made of fat. When you eat trans fats, these damaged fats get incorporated into your brain cell membranes, and the cells can't function properly. Trans fats may also increase inflammation and oxidative stress in your brain. They may reduce blood flow. They may accelerate the buildup of harmful proteins associated with Alzheimer's disease. Research has shown that people who consume the most trans fats have significantly higher rates of cognitive decline and dementia. The evidence is so strong that many countries have banned trans fats in food. When Frank learned this, he went home and threw out his margarine, his shortening, and all the packaged foods containing partially hydrogenated oils. He switched to cooking with olive oil, avocado oil, and small amounts of real butter. He stopped buying packaged cookies and crackers. The difference was remarkable, Frank said. Not just in how I feel, but in how my food tastes. Real food tastes better than processed food with all those chemicals. Now, the 5th and final brain-damaging food is one that Frank consumed socially, thinking it was actually good for his brain. The 5th brain-damaging food is excessive alcohol. Now, I know this is controversial because we've all heard that red wine might be good for your brain, but Frank was consuming much more than might be beneficial. Frank had 2 or 3 drinks most evenings, sometimes more on weekends. He'd read articles suggesting that moderate drinking might be protective, so he thought he was doing something healthy. But here's what the research really shows. While very small amounts of alcohol, we're talking about 1 drink a few times per week, might have some benefits, regular drinking accelerates brain aging. Alcohol is directly toxic to brain cells. It may cause brain shrinkage, particularly in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory. It may disrupt sleep quality, and your brain needs good sleep to clean itself and form memories. Alcohol also depletes B vitamins, which are crucial for brain health. It causes inflammation, it damages blood vessels, and it impairs your brain's ability to make new neurons. Studies using brain imaging have shown that people who drink regularly have smaller brain volumes and faster cognitive decline compared to people who drink rarely or not at all. When I showed Frank his own numbers, how much he was actually drinking each week, he was surprised. "I didn't realize it was that much," he said. "2 or 3 drinks felt normal, social, not like a problem." Frank decided to reduce his alcohol consumption to 1 glass of wine twice a week, only with meals. He replaced his evening drinking habit with herbal tea and sparkling water. "My sleep improved immediately," Frank told me. "I wake up feeling clearer, and I don't have that fuzzy head feeling I used to have in the mornings." Now let me give you Frank's complete transformation, what he eliminated and what he replaced these foods with. Out went artificial sweeteners. In came raw honey, maple syrup, and fresh fruit for sweetness. Out went processed meats. In came fresh chicken, fish, eggs, and real turkey he cooked himself. Out went refined carbohydrates. In came whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, and oatmeal. Out went trans fats and margarine. In came olive oil, avocado oil, and small amounts of real butter. Out went excessive alcohol. In came herbal tea, sparkling water, and occasional moderate wine consumption. Frank didn't make all these changes overnight. That would have been overwhelming. He started with eliminating artificial sweeteners in week 1. Week 2, he tackled processed meats. Week 3, he switched his carbohydrates. 1 change at a time, building the habits that would protect his brain. "It wasn't hard," Frank told me. "I just had to be intentional. I had to think about what I was putting in my body. And the results were so encouraging that I wanted to keep going." Let me tell you where Frank is now. He's 72 years old. His memory testing shows continued improvement. His mental clarity is excellent. He volunteers as a math and science tutor, helping high school students with complex problems. "I'm sharper now than I was 5 years ago," Frank says with pride. "My grandkids say I'm the smartest grandpa they know, and I tell them it's not just genetics, it's what you eat." Frank's wife told me something that brought tears to my eyes. She said, "You gave me my husband back, the brilliant, engaged, present man I married. I was so scared I was losing him, but he came back to me and he's staying. Now I want you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes if you'd like. Imagine 6 months from now you've made these dietary changes one at a time at your own pace. Your mind feels clearer, your memory is sharper, you're present in conversations, you're engaged with life. Imagine feeling confident in your mind again, not worrying every time you forget a name, not fearing that every memory slip is the beginning of something terrible. This isn't fantasy. This is Frank's reality right now, and it could be yours. Here's what I want you to do. Pick just one of these 5 brain-damaging foods to eliminate this week. Maybe start with artificial sweeteners because they're easy to replace, or processed meats because there are simple alternatives, just 1 change. That's how Frank started. 1 small change that led to another, that led to getting his brilliant mind back. If this information opened your eyes to foods that might be affecting your brain, would you give this video a thumbs up? It helps me reach more people who need to know this. And please share this video with someone you love who's experiencing memory problems. They might not know that simple dietary changes could make such a profound difference. I share life-changing health discoveries for seniors every single day. Real, practical information that can protect your brain and your future. Please stay with me on this journey. To make sure you don't miss any new content, please subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. Let me remind you of the most important thing. Your memory problems might not be inevitable. They might not be permanent. Frank proved that dietary changes can make a meaningful difference. Your sharp, brilliant mind doesn't have to be a thing of the past. It can be your present and your future. This is Dr. Sarah Williams. I'll see you in my next video. Eat well, think clearly, and remember the best is yet to come.